This is Dr. Bruce Blackmon from Buies Creek, North Carolina, and a candidate for governor in the Democratic primary in campaign 2012. Dr. Blackmon, thanks for being on the show tonight.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, sir.
Well, I was looking at your biography. You could have run for governor in any cycle between about 1948 and 2012, but 2012 was the year for you. Why now?
Why now? Now is the time that I think the people need a chance to decide whether they want taxes to go up or go down. As we look at North Carolina, a wonderful state, it's going to have to raise taxes in order to keep up with what's going on. North Carolina has the most highways of any state in the Union except the state of Texas. It's 500 miles from Manteo to Murphy. We've got to keep up these roads. We've got to keep up other things in the state as we come along. They're going to have more highway patrolmen, patrol ladies, whatever they are. We're going to have more firemen, fire ladies, whatever they are. And we're going to have more of everything as our population grows, our citizenship gets more dense. And I see no way that the taxes can go but up unless we find a way to cut taxes. I have that way figured out. I know it will work, and it's just a matter up to the people. The people are now at a crossroads or decision making in their path. Do they want to see taxes go up, or do they want to see taxes go down? If they want to see taxes go up, they can vote for anybody they want to. If they want to see taxes go down, if they'll put me in the governorship, in the governor's office, then I'll see to it that the taxes begin to go down.
You're seeing in the near term, based on our long-term growth and evolution as a state, whether it's a Republican or a Democrat in office, either party will have to raise taxes to pay for everything that North Carolinians expect to be paid for.
Absolutely.
Now, these polls show that you're running down fourth place, I think, by now. And you're well known around Buies Creek and the Campbell University community. I called down there, and the Harnett County Democratic chairman said, yes, Dr. Blackmon's very well respected, still active. But outside of that area, you are known, but to the average voter out there, they may want to know a little bit more about you. You're a medical doctor.
That's right.
What else about your background?
I've had since 1952, when I started practicing medicine. Practiced medicine in Buies Creek and the University of Campbell. It was Campbell Junior College at that time for 24 years. And then with the Department of Social Security in Raleigh, trying to determine whether patients that were applying for disability were entitled to it. Then from that angle, I want to know what the people want in this election. Do they want to cut taxes or raise taxes?
Now, in your background, I asked you off camera, you won the Order of the Longleaf Pine.
4 times, yes.
4
sir.
times. Most people count one as a tremendous career achievement, and you're 4 times in. 4 different governors.
3 different governors. Governor Hunt twice because he was there a long time.
Yes, he was. Let's get to the issues now. We know about you. We know your background now. You've got a plan here that would, I'm going to let you describe it, but it takes a small percentage of the lottery proceeds that we pay into those tickets and creates an endowment fund. How do you affect the education lottery with your plan?
The education lottery will get larger and larger. Now, right to start with, we're going to take $15 million, which is 5% of the lottery. Remember, the lottery is not tax money. That's money that the poor people have given to hoping to strike it rich. Now we'll take 5% of that money, which 2 years ago was $15 million, and we'll put it in a growth endowment fund so that it will get larger and larger and larger. We'll spend half of the income and we'll plow half of it back into the fund, and it will get larger every year. Had it been last year, instead of being $15 million, it would have been $22 million because the lottery had a good year. I'm not pro-lottery or against lottery or for lottery. I'm just saying it's here. Let's use 5% of it to set up a plan so that we can cut taxes.
So every year the principal amount, provided there's not a big market crash, but the principal cash amount stays the same.
Or grows.
Or grows, and you split the interest income, let the state live off some of it, but keep some of it for a future rainy day.
Absolutely, and we've got to figure to protect the education system in that time. We may have to borrow some money the first few years to let the lottery money actually get to growing. This is not a magic figure for next year. It's for next year and next year and next year down the road for our grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and later on groups that come along.
You've extrapolated out to 400 years.
Yeah.
And you say if they could stick to it, we'd all be long gone, but that fund would have some 416 or so trillion dollars in it. Why did you pick 400 years? Because people worry about tomorrow. They don't even care about next year, but you say 400 years. Why pick that amount to say this is where the table ends?
We had to start somewhere, and that was a good place to start. In fact, when I first asked a computer operator to figure it, I asked him to run it back to the time of Christ. And he said, all right, no problem. He put it into the machine, it ran a while, and it knocked off. The machine quit. I said, what's the matter now? He said, the paper is not wide enough to hold all the figures. So we boiled down to 400 years. Remember that Jamestown was started in 1607. That's about 400 years ago. The King James Version of the Bible was written 1611. So that's a good place to start our thinking.
Now, that's going to give us as much history going forward as we've enjoyed as even a colony to build this up. At what point do you trigger tax decreases? Because you want to cut taxes using this slow-growing endowment that will outlive all of us. At what point would you instruct the legislature in the future to say, okay, now's the time to lower the income tax rate or maybe do away with the sales tax?
I think they would start doing that pretty soon after they find some money coming in. It takes money if you're spending it at 7%, about 20 years to double. And then the next 20 years, it will double again. And the next 20 years, it will double again. So you go from 1 to 2 to 4 to 8 to 16 to 32. So you don't get near as much effect from it the first 3 or 4 years or first 20 years as you do when you start doubling bigger figures. I think the legislators will begin to pick up on this, and the first thing will happen, some young legislator or senator or representative will see this situation and they'll say, man, we've got money to spend that we have never had before. Let's spend it. And I'll make such motion in the legislature. Young senators and young representatives are not supposed to be heard, they're supposed to be seen. Shortly thereafter, some senior senator, representative, will speak up and say, now's the time we can begin to cut taxes. Where do you want me to cut your taxes? Because he's got funds to do it.
How are you going to keep the legislature, if this fund gets off the ground, from raiding the principal fund of this, the amount, and cutting into the quick, if you will?
That's one of the big things we've been worrying about. And I don't know of any way to do it except, and we can do this exception, we'll go to the people of the state, we will ask for a referendum of the Constitution. And the referendum says this fund is our fund for cutting taxes. Keep your paws off of it. Doesn't matter whether it's another legislative body or whether it's a governor or anybody. Say, if you want to raid this fund, first you've got to have a vote of the people that it's all right to do it. If you get a 66 2/3% vote of the people say it's all right to rate it, then that means we've got all the taxes, all the money we need, so go on rate it. But up until then, you've got to get a vote of the people saying it's all right to rate it.
Who are you trusting in the state bureaucracy to choose the investments that would make up this endowment fund?
Our state treasurer.
You trust the treasurer's office to be a good steward of this fund you would set up?
That's the best deal we can do.
And at 7% interest, that's going to be an average rate. You expect fluctuations. You're not looking for a magic combination of bonds and equities to reach a 7% threshold. You're willing to ride with the markets.
We'll ride with the market. I can remember when you could buy tax bonds for the state of New York for 19%. That was pretty good rate.
I want to ask you, why don't we see more candidates for state office come up with novel ideas? Because you've got charts, you've had it run through tables, you've had accountants look at it. Why don't we see these outside-the-box ideas from other candidates?
I don't know why they haven't. I would wish they would. But so far, they're interested in day-to-day projects that come up. Every project is a crash program. You've got a new program that comes on, and we've got to have some funds for that. So we throw a few $1 million at it and hope that's going to hold it. And tomorrow, a different program comes up. You've got to have a few more million for that. And everything we're doing, or many of the things that we're doing, are stopgap measures. This is a long-term program aimed at getting to the point that we don't have to worry about taxes.
There are so many other state issues out there other candidates have made as part of they have several planks of their platform, and you're clear this is your plank.
That's the whole thing.
You'll worry about other things once you get into office, but this is what you're going to hang your shingle on, this little book. And is this what people are looking for, or are you asking them to think differently about how their government's ultimately funded?
Absolutely. If they think about this, if they want to cut taxes, this is the approach to do it. If they don't worry about taxes, then they can vote for whoever they want. But if they put me in the governor's office, then we're going to cut taxes. And that's the way we're going to cut taxes.
This is Dr. Bruce Blackmon. He is running for governor in the Democratic primary in campaign 2012. Doctor, it's great to have you here in our studio tonight to discuss this issue with you.
It's great to be here. Thank you, sir.